Good evening and welcome to PRTvSpurs Paxton Raw TV, your spot for all the preview, all the reactions, all the talking points, your player ratings, whatever. This is the place to be. This is the channel to be. And what a massive, massive game coming up for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club tomorrow. Not only are we playing Chelsea, the team that we hate, but it's the return of Mauricio Pochettino. You can take it how you want. You can swear. You can welcome him back. But boy, is this going to be an encounter and a half. Because Battle of the Bridge, whatever you want to call it, but tomorrow is even better. It's even hotter because that man is returning to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And joining me to discuss the game and talk over the return is Darius 3K, who has now changed his name to Pochettino Hater Club President.
Number one.
Good evening,
Number
Club
one.
President. How are you?
Hello. How are you doing? And I hope all of my members are in the chat, and I hope my co-host, my amazing host here, Sid, is also a member of my president and my club. I am here to set a precedent from the president, and I'm just making sure that we are all singing from the same sheet tomorrow. But nonetheless, there is a football game to go on, and I'm happy to talk about it with you today, Sid. So how are you doing? How are you feeling? Got only a day to go now. Only one more day to wait.
Do you know what? 25 hours to go before kickoff.
Yep.
It's every season we look forward to this game for whatever reason. Yeah. The Battle of the Bridge, the fact that, they think they're better than us. It's always a game. We always seem to somehow bottle it against them. We did it at home last season. And it's one of them, obviously, in the calendars that it's a good game for the neutral. It's a good game for the neutral. But if you're a Chelsea fan, you're a bit too cocky. Spurs fans, we're now cocky now. So we're waiting for them. So I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to get there tomorrow. And the fact is, like you said, like you're the club president of, he returns to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. I'm sure we can do an 2-hour program on the return of Pochettino to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. You're going to have fans that are going to say, well, do you know what? I'm not going to clap him. You're going to say...
We had a talking points, to be fair. We did speak about it on talking points, didn't we? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's one of them. But, like I said on talking points, I don't really give a shit, to be fair. All I'm bothered about is my club, my team, my managers, and my players getting the points at 9:45, 10 o'clock come tomorrow. I couldn't really care about him, to be fair. So before we move on, I just want to ask you one quick question. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about tomorrow?
Okay, let's be smart about this. I'm confident because of how we're playing. But I don't know. Can you hear the fireworks, by the way, in my
Don't worry about that. That's
okay.
Fine.
I'm confident. I'll close my window in a second. I'm confident, but I'm also very, very, very worried because, if we lose this game, we could face a lot more, stick from a lot of people than we did in the Arsenal game. And
yes,
I just think that the way Chelsea play and with, what's on the line and who's here and, everything that's happened, I think it's going to be a tough game. So as confident as I am, and I really, really, really want to win this, I am expecting a very tough game, and I'm not expecting us to wash this team by any chance because, Chelsea, as much as their position in the table may not suggest they're doing amazing, and they aren't, I actually think they're not doing as bad as some people would suggest.
Right, we'll talk about that as we go along. Just like to thank everyone for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to PRTvSpurs and Paxton Raw TV, but obviously we're moving over to PRTvSpurs. So if you haven't already followed, subscribe, make sure you smash it and join us. It's all free. And also, everybody who's in the comment section, please make sure you put your comments in. We will read them as we go along. I've already got one for you, mate, from our very own beloved Pav. He wants to be co-president, please. Need to show what we're about.
The contract's in this. It's in here, Pav. Look, it's the contract. Waiting for you to sign it.
Right. So let me take this banner off and let's get into this then. So tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock kickoff, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or should I call it explosive, entertainment, fireworks, whatever you want to call it tomorrow, because tomorrow it's going to be lethal, absolute lethal. And let's go. So we was top of the league going into this weekend, Darius, after our win at Crystal Palace on Monday. And by the way, guys, if you're watching, it's not Sam doing all the fireworks next door. Yeah, Sam's not with us tonight. So
flipping it sounds like I'm in Chicago. Honestly, what is going on?
I was just saying that it's not your dad doing the fireworks in the other room next door.
You never know. You never know with Sam. He could be out there right now with a bonfire, and he could be the reason why it's making so much noise. So I apologize, guys, but can't really do anything. It's November 5th, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Right. So few games. We were top of the league on Monday, and then since then we've had a few games. Well, everyone's played apart from us and Chelsea going into tomorrow's game. So as it stands, as of tonight, we are not the leaders anymore. It's Manchester City, played 11, won 9 on 27 points. Spurs are still second, game less on 26 points. Liverpool, who've got a 90th, second, third minute equaliser at Luton, are 24 points off 11. Arsenal, 24 points off 11 after their sour, bitter, tasting, whatever you want to call it. Is it embarrassment, a disgrace? Okay, performed well from the VAR. They lost to Newcastle. Aston Villa was a bit of a result today.
Yeah,
they got big 2-0 by Nottingham Forest on 22 points. And Newcastle played 11 on 20 points. So, Darius, and I've said this as well, it's back in our hands tomorrow. We've got to do what we've got to do, because you look at the results, apart from Man City, Liverpool drew, Arsenal lost, Villa lost, and Newcastle have come up. So now the ball's in our hands, isn't it? We win tomorrow, we go back 2 points clear and 5 above Liverpool and Arsenal. So how massive now is this game after the results this weekend?
Huge. I think we've been quite fortunate when you look at the results this weekend. I mean, Arsenal, not going to get into it. This is not any sort of Premier League roundup, but Arsenal didn't get the result they wanted. I think it wasn't even really that controversial either, the decision. City obviously won. Liverpool drew, should have probably lost that game that just happened. And yeah, you look around, Villa lost as well. Brighton, I think, dropped points. Did they draw as well this week with Everton? Yeah. So yeah, there was a few teams that dropped points. Man United just got a win, just about. So yeah, no, there's a few results that made me think, yeah, we're not going first on a Friday, so we're not setting the pace, but we now know what the lay of the land is. And when you look at that, the top 7, yeah, I mean, we can go 2 points clear of Man City. We could go 5 points clear of Arsenal and Liverpool. And Sam was saying to me the other day, 5 points, yeah, it is 11 games. We're very, very early into the season. But 5 points is 2 losses. And we haven't lost any games yet this season. So, yeah, it's still going to take a lot for those teams to claw back. Or it's going to take us to make a mistake. And if we continue how we are, it might not be very, very soon until we make those mistakes. So, yeah, I think this is great motivation for us. Even more motivation. Shouldn't even need to be motivation, the results on the weekend, because as much as this is a huge game, we've got so much, there's so much riding on the game. I think this is our biggest game this season, in my opinion, in terms of stakes and what it could do for us. I think this is definitely our biggest game this season.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, him coming back, Pochettino coming back to Spurs
he who
as well.
Shall not be named.
It's you know what, it's so thingy. Right, so this is the bit, we talk about this every week with Sam, and we'll always laugh about it. And over the last couple of seasons where we've looked at this and we've always said it's a foregone conclusion, we're going to win. We don't. But this one, this season, I've been very, very optimistic and I've been very confident. But this one is bringing us back to reality. 62 meetings between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
We've won 8. They've won 33.
Oh.
At home, we've won 7. They've won 14 times at our place. Away, not even going to talk about that because we're not playing them. We've won once. They've won 19 times. 21 draws. Is this now one of them records that we need? Because last season, remember at home, we said we've got to beat them. We did, and we did convincingly. Again, do we now need to pick up on that from last season and the way we've been playing this season? Do we now say, you know what? It should be another home win now. We've got to put that under the bed with all this Spursy and they always come and do us, etc. Because this record is not good.
These stats, I don't know. These stats, sometimes you look at the teams and you think, yeah, it makes sense. When you look at Liverpool, all our stats make sense. City, I guess, until recent times where we've kind of got their number, it kind of makes sense, the losses. And Chelsea, again, when you look back at the errors of what's happened in the Premier League, we haven't really been a better team than Chelsea ever. Maybe early on, but you know, since the Abramovich takeover, they've been on top and they've been competing for titles. So yeah, I remember a few wins. I remember 2-0 last season, obviously, and other things like that. But Chelsea it's always seemed like Chelsea are the team that we can never win. It never seems like we can beat Chelsea. I don't know why. It just feels like a foregone conclusion that they're going to beat us. So, yeah, we'll have to now. And as you can see in recent times, it's a different Chelsea, isn't it? It's a different Chelsea. But when I think about any time before that, August 2022 or sort of 2022 in general, that Chelsea that we play always beats us. So, and that's a mentality thing, I think, sometimes more than a quality thing. I think sometimes we've already lost a game before we go into it. So, yeah, hopefully that changes tomorrow.
This is it. And the last 5 meetings, as we've already looked briefly. Thursday, the 4th of February 2021, we lost 1-0 at home. 19th of September 2021, we lost 3-0 at home. 23rd of Jan 2022, we lost 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. Sunday, the 14th of August 2022, we drew 2-2. And then last season, where we actually beat them with Skip and Kane, 2-0 2023, which leads me on to the home results. 22nd of December 2019, we lost 2-0. Willian scored twice. 4th of Feb 2021, we lost. Jorginho scored. 19th of September 2021, we lost. Silva, Conte, and Rudiger. And 26th of February 2023 is Skip and Kane. So, home record, last 4 games, Darius. 1 win, 3 losses.
Not great, is it?
No. Not
and
great.
If you notice, we didn't score in any of the games either until the most recent ones. So
I know.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, Sid? Because I want to look at these stats and be like, yeah, I'm worried, I'm scared, but I think the fortunes of both teams has almost done a complete 180, and
I agree.
You know, I don't think I can look at those stats and make a conclusion from them, but it just shows that Chelsea are always going to turn up no matter what the occasion because it's Tottenham. So we just have to. And I think, like I said, I think they're going to be so up for it. I think Pochettino's he's going to tell them so much. If we beat this team, we're the first team to beat them. Don't let me lose back at my old ground. I think he's going to really make these kids run. So, yeah.
I mean, even going back to that one of them games where when you were saying we've not scored, there was one where we played them 4 times, weren't it? And we didn't score 1 goal. Twice in the Carling Cup semi-final, we didn't score once. And then home and away, they beat us and we didn't score. So the record itself, it's horrific against Chelsea. I know we keep going on about Man United. Well, Man United at Old Trafford was a bad record. Arsenal as well, Liverpool as well. But the Chelsea one, for some reason, it's just horrendous. And the worst thing is we're not even scoring in some of these games. You know, performances were there. But then it got to that stage where it started getting into a battle, more of a football game. And that's where we lost our composure. We lost everything, and we ended up getting beat. So, you know, it, like you said, tomorrow's game is completely different. And we'll talk about the team talks and the team and that. So, current form, we won our last game 2-1 against Crystal Palace. They lost 2-0 at home to Brentford. We beat Fulham 2-0 at home. They drew 2-2 against Arsenal, which not theoretically, but really they should have. In reality, they should have won 2-0 up, and they blew it. And we beat Luton 1-0 away. They beat Burnley 4-1 away. We beat Liverpool 2-1 at home. They won 2-0 at Fulham. We drew 2-2 with Arsenal, and against Aston Villa, they lost 1-0. So, like you said, 4 wins and a draw. They've got 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. So they're very inconsistent in terms of how they're playing and, you know, which oppositions come up against them, because they've got that many players now. They haven't got a set team. Whereas we've got a set team, we've got a top manager, and that says it all, doesn't it, really, the last 5 games?
I mean, yeah, it's unbeaten in 10 because we've played 10 and not lost.
Yeah.
So it's looking good. I mean, difficult when you look at, I mean, for both, you know what, as crazy as it sounds, I think both teams have struggled with scoring, not necessarily creating, but scoring. And when I look at the results that we've had, you take the opposition and, you know, as well involved. Crystal Palace, yeah, they play a deep block. Fulham play a bit defensive, and so do Luton. I still expect us to score quite a few goals against those teams. So
yeah,
to say that we're only winning by 2, you know, we're scoring 2 goals, which is good, scoring a goal against Luton. And we've seen, you know, how hard it is to score against Luton, as Liverpool have shown in the game today. I still expect us to try and, with the amount of chances we create, to score more. And I think the same with Chelsea. They're not struggling to create chances. They're just struggling to actually put the ball in the back of the net, and they don't actually take that many shots either. So they get the ball in the right area, and then nobody's actually willing to pull the trigger. Nobody actually wants to take that shot. And when they do take the shot, they don't really seem to hit the target very much and threaten goalkeepers. So we may see a lot of, you know, good football, a lot of, you know, intricate play, but is it going to be a high scoring game? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a good game, but it's not high scoring because of the quality of forwards. But, you know, we still have, in my opinion, one of the best finishers, if not the best finisher of all time in the Premier League, in Son. So I think, yeah, we have the personnel to be able to crack that shell more than I think Chelsea do. And that's why I do think we'll win the game. And also, when you look at the teams defensively as well, Chelsea actually haven't been bad defensively, but Thiago Silva is not very quick. And if we can get him turned around, you can get the likes of Brennan Johnson sort of attacking Reece James if he starts, or whoever does play right back, Gusto. If you can get, you know, players turned around and, you know, Cucurella and the likes of those players turn around and running towards their goal, I think we really, really definitely could. You even see the flashing on my wall as well. Yeah. You could even sort of see how we can attack their defense and get results and get goals and create chances. So I expect us to be the same regardless of who we're playing.
Do you know, what you're saying is I totally agree with you. It's going to be very interesting. This next start, and we'll sort of clarify some of the things you've said. For the season so far, obviously, I forgot to change that. We're not first, we're second at the moment. Chelsea are 11th. We've won 8. They've won 3. 2 draws to Chelsea's 3. We've not lost yet. They've lost 4 times this season already. This is a bit now where, obviously, normally your dad, Sam, sorts it, but you can talk. I mean, average goal score per match, 2.2, 1.3 to Chelsea. 0.9 goals conceded to their 1.1. 4 clean sheets to Chelsea's 3. Chances created per match, 2.4. Chelsea's 2.1. Biggest win 5-2. Theirs is 4-1. We've not lost. Theirs is 3-1. So what you were saying just before this slide came up about how it being a good game, and even before you said about them creating chances and scoring, we're averaging 2.2 goals. They're averaging 1.3. We're only 0.9 conceding, where they're conceding only 1. So it's neither here. But this bit, what you're saying here, the chances created, they're creating almost as many chances, 2.1, as what we are, 2.4. So, like you said, it's not as bad for them as people are making it out to be. It's just that they haven't got any finishes, and when they do, they've got Mrs. Jackson up top. Yeah, he's not taking them, whereas we are taking ours. So, looking at that in terms of goals scored, conceded, and chances created, what are you expecting? Are you expecting a game full of chances?
I am. I'm expecting it to be quite end to end. I think Chelsea thrive. You look at the results that they've had and the performances they've put in this season. Liverpool and Arsenal stand out a lot to me. Those teams like to, they attack. They care less for defense, as maybe a little bit of faith in the defensive players in those positions, but also I think they just want to score more than the other team. So I think Chelsea thrive against teams who are going to attack them. And then you look at teams who have sort of held off against them, and they've struggled to crack the shell, and they've ended up, either losing or not scoring many goals against them. And yeah, the stats sort of back up what I was saying. It's actually quite impressive. We're sort of seen as the team in the league who has created the most, and we're playing free flow football, and it looks great. And with this new team with a fresh ideas, and Chelsea aren't statistically that much different to us. So, and even when you watch Chelsea play, they have players who can create. I mean, Cole Palmer is, I think, just as magnificent and as prodigious a talent as some of the English talents we talk about, and the likes of the Fodens and the Bellinghams. In my opinion, I think he's up there and should be in the England squad, because he seems so naturally capable of just finding a pass and executing it so well before anybody else can see it. And he played very well against Brentford despite them not winning that game. And yeah, you mentioned Miss Jackson. I really think he struggles without a strike partner, and I think that the idea and the plan was obviously in Nkunku and Jackson probably to play as a bit of a strike partnership. So, and they were doing really well in pre-season as well when that was happening. I mean, they looked really good when those two were playing. So 14 injuries I think they had last week. Maybe a few players are back. I know Reece James might be back this weekend, so it might be different. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Chelsea are just a bit unlucky at the moment, and we just need to, while they've got all these players out. And by the way, just on those injuries, I don't think 14 injuries or however many it is, and having Poch as your manager is a coincidence. If you actually look at the stats, or not even the stats, but if you look at history, Kane had a lot of ankle injuries, and it seemed like after 2020, 2021, those ankle injuries kind of went away, and nobody ever really heard of them. And that seems quite interesting to me, because that falls in line with when Pochettino left. And I think that the regime that he, puts on his players, I'm not surprised that those Chelsea players have fallen like dominoes at the moment. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be an end-to-end game. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, there's loads of things that I think are the reason why Chelsea aren't maybe doing as well as they expect or they should be doing statistically.
Yeah, I mean, one thing for sure is, like you said, chances are going to be, I think, going to be coming thick and fast, because both teams that have got players, like you said, they've got players, Palmer, Sterling, Mudryk, and we've got ours attacking threat with Maddison, Son, Bissouma, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson. So chances will be created, and I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game in terms of that. And even like goals conceded, the thing with them is they are conceding goals, and and they are losing games. So it's not going to be like we're not going to not score against them. I think we will score against them. It's whether they can score against us, because at the moment with our defense, it's very, very hard to break our defense down. And we'll discuss the team, because I think there might be one concern for me anyway. We'll discuss that as we go along. And right, before we go to the teams, I was watching something today, right? I was just flicking through Twitter, and I come across somebody, they do the combined 11.
Oh God, yeah. I think I know exactly where you're going.
And I saw one, right, and I just had to laugh because they had their keeper in goal. They had three of their Chelsea defenders, right, ahead of Van der Ven and Romero. They went with Colville, Silva, and Reece James, and Origi was in, and they were debating about that as well. Just about midfielders, only Madison got in, and striker Son. And I just looked at them, and I'm like, and the guy goes. Then one of the guy goes, "Do you know what? We really should be looking at this, you know, based on this season, and blah blah blah." And then they still went with all them Chelsea players, and I'm like, "What land are you lot living in? What absolute land are them lot living in?" You know, and I just left it. I thought I was gonna comment, but then I thought, you know what, I don't need to comment because you look at it, you look at what's been happening, you look at what everyone else is talking about. It is what it is. So we've got injury wise, obviously Bentancur's come back, Gill's come back. The only niggle at the moment is with Destiny Udogie, and that's a big problem.
Ben Davis, I believe, as well.
And Ben Davis, yeah. So from what I've heard, and with everyone saying Emerson Royal's going to start, Angie's been hugging him in training and talking to him deeply and stuff like that. So my lineup would be Vicario number 876, Poro number 870, Emerson Royal 858, Cuti Romero 853, Van der Ven 875. Do you agree with the back five? Oh, just in case people are just tuning in, and all these 858, 875, they're the legacy numbers Spurs have come out with for every player that plays for Spurs or represents.
I'm guessing that's like he's the 875th signing.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I was thinking it looks like
he's
in that order.
Signed for the club, they now got legacy numbers. So every time, so you've got number one, who was the first player. So yeah, 875, 876, 870, 858. Yeah. So that back five. Any thought?
No qualms, no issues with that. I think that's exactly what we're going to see.
Yeah.
I genuinely, even if Sessegnon was fit and ready to play, I'd rather play Royale left back. And we've had this debate on this channel with Sean and Sam. I think I'd probably start him over Ben Davis as well, to be honest with you, because Ange mentioned, you know, you can't have 24 world-class players. Yeah. It's going to make it more difficult to win things, etc. You need people to buy into the cause. You need people to, you know, understand the role, whatever. Not to say he was talking about Emerson, but I think Emerson falls under that category quite strongly. You know, he was starting at the start of the season. He scored a goal. I can't remember who it is against. Was it the Brentford game he scored that volley, that goal?
Yeah, I think it was Brentford.
I think it was, yeah. So he started. Yeah. Porro had a bit of a tricky start. Porro works his way back into the team, and now he looks undroppable. Yeah. But Royale still will go, and every time he's on the pitch, he puts in effort. He defends really well. You know, he blocked a shot against, I believe it might have been Fulham, and you know, him and Porro were like big, you know, big celebrations, big cheering, like they'd scored a goal. So I think everyone in the team respects him, and I think he'll probably play as good a role as he can in left back, if that makes sense. I don't know if he'll play great, but he'll do as best as he can do in that position, and he'll play very inverted as well. So he won't really even be playing left back; he'll be playing centre mid, really and truly.
Yeah, my only concern, obviously, with Emerson Royal is he's not a natural left back, and we saw that against Fulham where he came on to play left back after because Udogie got injured, and 5 minutes later he swapped over with Porro, and then 5 minutes later they swapped back again. So I don't think he's comfortable playing as a left back stroke. You know, I don't know whether he's confident or he just doesn't want to play as a left back.
And against Sterling as well.
Yeah,
he's going to be duking.
Exactly. So that's my only worry and niggle. And Ben Davis, as much as he's, you know, one of the forefronts of the players and, you know, stalwarts, I think he's injured. Emerson Royal starts. I just hope, you know, he's on it from the whistle starting, because sometimes, like you said, he comes inverted, he goes missing sometimes, and he's in midfield. And if you've got him and Porro going into the middle, then we might, you know, But then again, we've got one of the fastest centre backs in the world at the moment, Van der Ven, and we've seen him clear up. So I've no qualms. I mean, we've got no other player to come in at left back. So, you know, and I trust everything Mr. Postecoglou does. Midfield one. Now, I was having a discussion with my son here, and he thinks that I've said this is going to be the midfield. He thinks Bentancur could come in for Saw. I said, no way, not yet. Not in such a massive game like this where Saw's been so consistent this season. He's played really well. Why would you then just bring Bentancur in straight away when he's only had like 5-10 minutes? I would go with this midfield. I don't know if you agree or not, but I think this is the midfield we have to go with.
Yeah, I don't think we can really debate that one. I think we probably might see 10 minutes of Bentancur. And even if, I don't think we'll see it unless we're winning.
Yeah.
You need to be able to match an intensity, and Chelsea are going to be an intense team. It's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be a very easy game. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would love to see him. Don't get me wrong, but we're going to need the legs from Saw. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Because that midfield three, they're not doing anything wrong. They just, you know, as long as Bissouma forgets that last game that we played against, who was it, where he had an absolute mare when he came back?
Was it Luton?
Luton game, yeah. As long as he gets back to his fitness, and because he's going to have to be tomorrow with Casado and Fernandez and whoever else plays in that middle. That midfield is going to be a battle tomorrow, and we need battlers, absolute battlers in there, 100% committed, you know, and somebody who's just come back after 6-8 months out. You can't throw him straight into the fire against Chelsea. No. And I think that's what he'll do. Right.
I agree.
Kulusevski.
Mm-hmm.
Although a couple of them last week on our reaction show were saying that he needs to be dropped because he's not in form. I'm going with Johnson to come in tomorrow and Son up top. Right. My reasoning, obviously, Kulusevski has his games, and I think tomorrow might be another one of them where he could, because he leads from the front, he comes back as well. But as long as he gets his shots on target and, you know, doesn't sort of drift back with the ball when we're attacking. Richarlison's not been doing it for me. I just think, you know what, if Johnson was fully fit, he would not be starting at all. So for me, Johnson comes in tomorrow because of his pace and the way he runs at defenses from, you know, if he plays on the left or right. And I think he's going to be I think Johnson's going to have a pivotal role tomorrow in this game. And obviously, Son, the main man up top.
It's so weird because when Kulusevski, when I think Kulusevski's not playing well, it seems like everybody thinks he's playing well. And then when I don't think he's playing well, when I do think he's playing well, it seems like everybody thinks he's not playing well. So yeah, I think he actually is he's not doing that bad at the moment. I don't really, maybe, you know, I think it's a lack of goals and assists. You know, he's a winger. I expect and I understand that. But I'm trying to think how I can put this. But none of the team are really, apart from Son, are really bagging like they should, and maybe even Maddison as well. So I'm not, it's a team issue as opposed to a Kulusevski issue. So yeah, I think he's doing fine at the moment. And I agree with you. Johnson has to start. If Johnson's fit, I don't really care. I think he starts regardless. Richarlison isn't good enough. He's not good enough. He'd be a good impact player, but even then, if we can get money for him, I can't remember who it was who mentioned it. I was watching a YouTube video and somebody had a great team for Richarlison. They said Fulham. They said he should go and be Fulham's Mitrovic replacement. And he would have a great role there and would actually be able to do what he does best in that team. So, and he's obviously works with Marco Silva as well. So yeah, I think Richarlison, I don't know. I don't think he's on his way out necessarily, but I don't necessarily see why we should start him. So yeah, I agree. I think that lineup's exactly what we're going to see on Monday.
I think, do you know what? Even Richarlison to come in like 15-20 minutes to go just to rough it up a little bit and, you know, do his what he does, you know, his runs behind, or just get into a few battles and stuff like that, because they'll probably be tiring and you don't want him to come on to cause a little bit of havoc. And I'm assuming that's the plan from Postecoglou. I might be wrong. He might start Richarlison and do the opposite and think Richarlison to come on, Johnson to come on with 15-20 minutes to go to change the game.
Yeah. No, I think either way, both of them are gonna offer something, but Johnson offers everything Richarlison offers and more. So
this is it exactly.
I would start Johnson.
Which UK is saying here is Udogie injured? Yes, he is injured. I think he wasn't training yesterday as well. So unless they're keeping him under wraps and for a late medical test tomorrow, I don't think so. Soy is a workhorse. Bissouma needs to be careful of getting carded. Yeah, because tomorrow's going to be one of them games, in it. So he was going to have to be very, very careful. Hi from Leicester, our very own David Clark. Ange comment on Royal's performance at left back. He said he was brilliant. Obviously, attacking wise, he will be limited, but there is nobody else who can play there. Yeah, that's what we said, David. We've got no choice. He's going to have to play at that position tomorrow. And I'm sure they've worked on it and they've told him what to do. Oops, right. So, Darius, let's talk about the players and let's talk about net spend. So there's a lot of things about him spending $1 billion and we've got whatever. This is the outgoings, right? Incoming, sorry. Let's start off with Spurs. Well, we bought in Kulusevski, James Maddison, Vicario, Solomon, Ashley Phillips, Pedro, Porro, Van der Ven, Belize, and Brennan Johnson. We've spent 213 million in the summer of this year, 2 undisclosed and 1 free. Chelsea have spent 301 million, and this is just in the summer. I've not even put the loanees, the undisclosed ones. So they've got DRC 38.5, Miss Jackson 30 million, and Nkunku 52, Pierre 17.2, Sanchez 25, Casado 115, and Ukuchubuku 23.5. Looking at them 2 summer signings, or all the summer signings, who do you think have made the better signings? Poch or Spurs?
Yeah, it's probably obvious that we've probably made the better signings. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
it's difficult, it's a little bit skewed as well. Obviously, Porro was a loan to buy. I know the money probably came out in the summer, so we have to include it, and Kulusevski as well.
Yeah.
So you could probably take off 55 million off that 213 if you really wanted to. But when you look at it, I think Nkunku is an incredible player. So I think that's a great buy. It's unfortunate about his injury. I think he'll be back in December, January time. So that's going to be a massive boost to them. Sanchez is probably an upgrade on Kepa. So I'd probably say that's decent as well. Premier League quality goalkeeper. Disasi, I think, has had a good start to the season. Didn't realise he cost as much as that. But again, for a good quality centre-back, to get him for 38 million, I mean, we got Mickey van der Ven for 43. So, yeah, you can't really complain. Caicedo, I know that fee looks disgusting. It looks horrible. But I really rate Caicedo. And, when you think about how they can form that midfield and mould that midfield, I think regardless of who you put in that midfield, I think Caicedo and or Enzo are the mainstays in that midfield. So, yeah, it's a horrible fee, but 115 million is crazy. It is crazy, but yeah, I do think he's a good player, and he's what they needed in a way. I think he's actually quite a great player for Pochettino. So
they potentially could have 2 centre midfielders tomorrow worth what we've spent in the whole summer window. If Enzo and Caicedo both play, that will be more than what we've paid in. 2 players will be more than what we've bought. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you know what I just realised as well?
Go on.
You didn't even put Cole Palmer in that team as well. So that's another 45 million that you can add on.
There you go.
So 345 million they've spent, because Cole Palmer came in quite late, but he cost 45 million. And I think Cole Palmer's a steal as well. Cole Palmer's he's gonna look like he's gonna look like the Maddison deal. Maddison obviously has proven himself a lot quicker and earlier, but Cole Palmer, I think, has come into that Chelsea team and really been influential. So yeah, I mean, we've done the better business in the summer, but I don't really see why people complain about the amount of money that Chelsea has spent. It ain't your fucking money, so why are you complaining? If my team had spent that much money and we got that many young players who are proven, talents, I wouldn't be complaining. I think maybe they look at getting some more experience in, but I don't care. It's not my team. And I think when you look at my team and when we look at Spurs, Sid, we've started to fill the gaps for the positions that we needed to, and we still haven't finished.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to start looking at backups now and you know, convincing players to come and play a second role is a lot harder than saying, you know, going to Van der Ven and saying, yeah, you're going to start for me. I think that's very easy to convince a player to come and play for you when you're going to tell him you're going to start. Whether you can get a player to come in and play for you when you say, look, you're not the main guy, but if he gets injured or if there's a cup game, that's harder to convince. So, yeah, no, I think we started well, and long may it continue.
100%.
And hopefully we can build a squad that is on the level of the Man Cities and Arsenal's. And I even put Chelsea's squad up there because when they're fully fit, they've got a very, very scary squad. Very scary squad.
But the problem with that is he's got such a scary squad. He's got so many players. How is he going to keep every single one of them happy? And how is he even going to know which one of his best players are? Because at this moment, they're just not gelling. And in this day and age, you cannot have time in the world to start experimenting and try and get a team settled, because by that time you could be done and dusted. The season could be done, you know. So tomorrow, where is this game going to be won and lost then? Who is going to? Well, is it going to be the midfield, the defense, the goalkeepers? Where, in your opinion, tomorrow is this game going to be won and lost?
I think it's going to be. I think it's the wide flanks. I look at the midfield battle. It's going to be a great midfield battle. You look at Enzo, you look at Caicedo, you look at Bissouma Sarr. I think there's going to be a lot of play in the midfield. But when I look at where the game's going to be won and lost, I think it's in the wide areas, because Sterling and Mudryk, I don't think Mudryk might play. Mudryk might be injured, so I don't know who's going to play. Oh, gosh. Who's probably going to play off the left and right? Maybe Cole Palmer off the right. I don't know. Somebody will have to let me know who Chelsea have been playing on the wing. But Sterling and Mudryk, if it's Sterling and Mudryk against Porro and Emerson, is a bit scary.
It is.
And as much as, you know, I rate Porro going forward, and as much as defensively, I think he's maybe called out a little bit too much, he still isn't the best defensive right back. And if those guys have a good performance, I think we win the game, because I expect the rest of our team to perform the way they do. And if we can get a defensive performance out of our wide defenders, I think we win the game. So as much as the midfield is going to be important, and most of the play will probably come through the midfield, I think the battle and the game will be won and lost in those wide areas.
You know what? I sort of agree with you. And I think it's going to be a very, very open game, because both teams like to play open-ended football.
Yeah.
I think the strikers are going to be the difference, because, well, no, I think the strikers are, and our strikers are going to be the main difference, because Miss Jackson, he's going to find it very tough against Van der Ven and Romero. Very, very tough. I don't care what Sterling, Palmer, whoever's playing on them wings, feed balls. I have got that much confidence in my two centre-backs, right? The way they're playing at the moment. I think he's going to have a massive, massive job on his hand. Whereas Son against Colwill and Silver, whoever plays at that back, with Maddison threading, I think he's going to cause them serious problems, because his running off the ball is immense, you know, and he's not slow. So I think Son and Jackson is going to be the deciding, and I think Son's going to take that all day long. Yeah. But I also agree with you. Our left back and right backs are going to be very, very crucial. They're going to have
and
to.
And also, you know what? And now you mention it again, just to talk about the midfield really, really quickly. I think Conor Gallagher is going to probably have a role of just making sure Maddison doesn't have time to do what he needs to do, because Maddison doesn't really have a position to play necessarily. He can go wherever he wants. And I think they're just going to sort of tell Conor Gallagher, wherever Maddison goes, you press him, you follow him, you don't let him out of your sight. So, that'll be a good battle as well. I think everywhere on the pitch is going to probably be highly contested. Yeah. I just have faith in it. I really do. Like you said, I've got a lot of faith in our team that we can we can win this, and I really, really want to win as well.
Yeah, and don't forget one thing: we've got a keeper on fire. We've got a fucking beast of a keeper at the moment. His confidence is beyond planets. He is that confident, and I think everybody would put everything they've got in his trust, because some of the saves he's doing, and he's so confident on the ball, playing it out, playing it in. So I honestly think there's a lot of places where the games are going to be win and lost, but I think Son and them two centre backs are, I think, the most pivotal and most crucial for us tomorrow. So bringing it on, just welcome on Andreas. Yes, Uduj is not playing. He's, as far as we're aware, is injured. So
I think David said he's got I didn't realise it was his ankle ligament.
Yeah, they said it's ankle ligament.
For some reason, I thought it was his knee, which was more concerning.
Yeah,
to be fair.
No, it's ankle ligaments, and I think they said it's normally 10 days for recovery.
Okay,
that's what they're saying. Yes, 10 days. So I think 10 days is up midweek. So it's
probably going to be after international now.
Could be, yeah. Depending.
I would put a little. He's still injured. He can't go to.
Of course.
International. Keep him.
Of course. Right. That brings us on then to the main predictions. Everybody.
I'm doing this for Big Sam, aren't I? So I can't get this wrong. I'm predicting for Sam. So.
Everybody. No, you can predict for Sam and you can predict for yourself as well. Don't worry. And I want everyone else as well. Let's put your predictions in. Which way is this game going to go? Remember, everybody in the comment section, we win tomorrow. We're 5 clear
of Arsenal and Liverpool.
And we will be
2 clear of City.
Yeah, of Man City. So let's see what everyone else is saying as well. Let's see how confident everyone else. Right. So are you going with Sam's or yours first?
I'm gonna go with mine, but I'm doing this for Sam. So this is my prediction for you, Sam. I don't know if you keep score, but I'm gonna do my prediction as if I'm predicting for you, Sam. So I think this game is gonna be. I thought it was gonna be high scoring, and then I realized that both teams aren't very good at actually scoring. So I'm going 2-1 Spurs. I think 2-1 Spurs makes the most sense. I just think it's going to be a tough game. As much as I'm excited, I know it's going to be a tough game, and I don't want us to change the way we play because it's Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to potentially change the way they play, maybe be more defensive. So I say we just completely suffocate them. Just keep attacking. Fans, everyone in the stadium, just absolutely make it an unbearable place to be in. And I think we'll come away with a victory, and it will. The league table will look very good, especially given the results after this weekend. It will look very good. So 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah, which LK is saying 2-1 Spurs as well. So that's your Sam's prediction. What's your prediction? Are you going 2-1 as well?
That's my 2-1. 2-1.
2-1. Right. Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I don't think it's going to be as. I agree with you. I don't think there's going to be that many goals going forward. Andreas is saying 2-1 as well. I'm also going with 2-1 as well because it's going to be a very, very tough game. It's going to be one of them goals. One goal is going to decide it, and I think we're going to purely because, and I'm going to talk about this briefly in the next couple of minutes, and then we're off. Yeah, but I think tomorrow the emphasis is. Do what we did against Arsenal, at Liverpool, Chelsea last season, is the whole fan base get behind the team. We have been doing that all season. So, you know what? No qualms about that. And I think we will. But the most important thing tomorrow, and we touched on it again, and we're just going to finish off on that, is the return of Pochettino to Spurs. That itself is going to be electrifying in the stadium because, like you said, you're going to have fans in the stadium that are going to hate him. Some are going to like him. Some will applaud him. Some will boo him. Declan Rice got the booing as well when he went back to West Ham. At the end of the day, when a player leaves and he comes back, he gets booed. So why is it different for a manager? Yes, he done what he done for us, but he didn't win us anything. He could have won us the Champions League. He could have, had he not at that time Kane was just coming back from injury. You play your player who scored a hat-trick in the semi-final. He didn't. He chose not to. And then there was whatever it was with him. So, you know what? People are going to have to go to that game tomorrow, and he's not our manager. He's not with us anymore. And I want you to touch on a couple of things he said. The thing he said about Chelsea being the best team in the Prem for the last 10 whatever years.
Hey, Sid.
Go for it.
Sid. I have a monitor right here. I'm breaking the fourth wall right now. I've got your beautiful face on this monitor right here.
Yeah.
And I've got a quote right here. I've got two quotes that I want to just quickly say. I don't have a lot to say about this because I really don't want to talk about this man too much. But I'm going to let you... Go on.
Before you say that,
yeah.
Them two quotes, is that all Postecoglou needs to do tomorrow and just pin them in the wall?
I don't even think one of the quotes he needs to pin on the wall. I think, you know what, in fact, no, he does need to pin both of them on the wall. He definitely needs to pin both of them on the wall. I think all he needs to do is just let people know, you know, as much as you might love this guy, and I don't even think it's motivation for the players. I think he is so, you know, confident, and he's got such a presence about him that I don't even think any of these things matter to him. I think he would just tell them to continue doing what they're doing. I'm talking about all the... I'm looking at the camera and I'm looking at the fans who genuinely still have love for Pochettino, and you can still have love for him, but I still think that's crazy. I think you can have love for the memories, but to have love for him as a man, let me just let you know what he said. Pochettino said back in... When was this? This was November 2018. So he was still in charge of us back then, November 2018. He said, it's a good signal our fans want more every season with a rivalry. Always look at the team. And he said, with rivalry, you always look at the teams above you. For us, Chelsea, Arsenal and West Ham have been our biggest rivals. But I think that has changed a bit because of our positions in the table. In the last few years, Chelsea were always on top, and Arsenal, after 21 or 22 years, they were below us again. So saying that Chelsea, Arsenal and West Ham are our biggest rivals. He said that. Quotes. He said that. And then Pochettino joined Chelsea in, was it June of 2023? Pochettino joined Chelsea. He sat in a very nice, what looked like hotel room or lobby, and gave an interview for the Chelsea fans that got posted on the Chelsea social media. And I'm not going to go through the whole interview because I don't care. I actually don't care. But I will read part of what he said in this interview. He said, I think in the last 10, 12 to 15 years, Chelsea is the greatest team in England. And that we know very well. I think I know the Premier League very well. I know very well what it means to be Chelsea, the culture of Chelsea.
There you go.
In the last 10, 12, 15 years, Chelsea is the greatest team in England. I'm pretty sure 15 years ago is 2008. And I'm pretty sure in that space of time, he managed a team called Tottenham Hotspur, which gave him the opportunity to actually be able to manage Chelsea FC.
And paid him.
Paid him a nice amount of money.
Yeah. Had his son playing for us. Had his son working for us. Yeah. So we fed that family. And then that's what he said. Right.
And I don't know if you've seen what Jesus Perez, that little midget, has been putting on fucking social media as well with his daughters, involving them. Posted a tweet of his daughters in a Spurs kit and said, and the caption of the tweet is "Love is colorblind." And now he's got a picture of his daughters in a Chelsea kit.
Well, he's not there tomorrow.
I don't care where he is. And like I said, guys, those two quotes are only meant to get your guts boiled. It's only meant to get you more angry because he called Chelsea the greatest team in the last 10, 12, 15 years. Yeah. I don't care how many trophies they won. I don't care if he's the manager of that team now. From when you say that, you've burnt a bridge, in my opinion. Your memories will forever be in my head. But you as a man, I don't associate those memories with you anymore. There was just a random guy and then a bunch of great players who created those memories. I don't like Poch. I don't like him, unfortunately. Yeah. And I've seen him backtrack this week on a lot of the quotes. They said, oh, but it wasn't me who left. I was sacked. This and that. I don't care. I think he's worried that he's going to get a hostile reception. And I think he should get a hostile reception.
He should. Yeah, I think.
And that is my mic dropped. I'm finished now, Sid.
I think he will get a hostile reception because, like you said, there's some that will like him, there's some that won't like him. But then the ones that did like him, after the comments that he's made and said, right, like you just said, that 10, 12, 15 years, man, you was our manager for 4 or 5 of them years. You took
7, 8 of them years.
You took us to the Champions League final. You know, you had probably some of the best players at that time. And then you go and say that. And now you're backtracking. So, you know what? Whatever he gets tomorrow, obviously, we don't want him. Whatever happens tomorrow, if he gets booed, if he doesn't get booed, I don't care. But whatever happens, we need to walk away from that stadium with 3 fucking points and say to him, do you know what, mate? Go back to the bridge. That's where you belong. You go and do what you got to do with your billions and do fuck all with your billions. Because this is Tottenham Hotspur. We've got Postecoglou. Yeah. Come at us, because money doesn't always talk, and it proves that you don't need that much money. So whatever happens, we cannot. Because you know what's going to happen, don't you? If he comes to that stadium tomorrow and he ends up with the 3 points, you will
see. I mean? He'll go like this.
Yeah,
punch in the fist. Camera will be panning around him in a circle.
100%.
He'll try and
100%.
And the thing is, you'll be burning. And the thing is, I'll see loads of people like saying, "Oh, fuck Pochettino, this and that," and it'll be too late because he would have gotten what he deserved. Exactly. I think we should just be hostile from the start. And if 100%. We win, then you might be able to give him a little clap afterwards. If we win, cool, we can give him a little clap, say thanks for what you did. But really, realistically, okay, a final, 2nd place, you revolutionized that club, but
that's it.
You didn't win anything, really. Yeah. I mean, if Postecoglou even wins if he won the bloody Carabao Cup, he would have done more than Pochettino did. So
exactly.
It's not hard to overtake the legacy for Postecoglou. No. He's on the right track. He's on the right track.
The thing that we want to do at that final whistle tomorrow, come 9:45, come 10:50, at the end of that game, when the players are walking off, I don't want them to. This is what I want them to play. I don't want them to play the usual song, "Glory, Glory, Tottenham Hotspur." All I want them to play is, "Okay, now go. Walk out that door. Don't turn around now, because you're not welcome anymore." Because that's the best way to do it. Get him out of that door with no points whatsoever, and then let him think about that. So on that one, it's going to be very, very interesting tomorrow, guys. Everybody's predicting a 2-1, so everyone is saying it's going to be a tough game, 2-1 to Spurs, but we're going to get the 3 points and we're going to be 5 clear. I'm hoping and praying that we do it. And I've got confidence anyway, because it's not like last season where we're like, oh no, what's going to happen? Hiding underneath for jumpers and whatever. I'm confident that we're going to win this game. We're going to get the 3 points and send Pochettino packing back to Stamford Bridge and do whatever he wants to do. Darius, thank you very much for joining me for the preview show. Thank you to everyone in your comment section. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you smash that like button and follow us, PRTvSpurs and Paxton Road TV. Thank you to Andreas Jodi. Thank you to, Tapaya Majori. Thank you to Hotspurs TV. Thank you to Which UK. Thank you to David Clark. Thank you to Pav. Thank you to everyone that's been watching us. Thank you to Tricky One. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure you join us tomorrow, maybe tomorrow late, or if not, we'll do it on Tuesday for the reaction show. Hopefully, well, it won't be hopefully. Spurs will be clear at the top and we'll be doing the reaction show. Everybody bouncing up and down. Make sure you join us. Once again, thank you very much, everyone, and hope you have a great evening. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Come on, you Spurs! And I'll put the video. Let's go.
More developed,